Did you plan to become a systems administrator? What happened after matric?
I worked at a PR company, which had nothing to do with what I studied for. So I was writing articles for the PR company. I was writing because the certification I have is for development, but she managed to get me a position in support. I feel like for coding, specifically for development, you need to have the bone. You need to.
Hi, Ronin. How are you?
Hi, Bonnie. Good and you? Thank you for having me.
Good. Oh, it's so great to finally have someone like you. For the village has been asking for a systems administrator for a long time.
I'm glad.
Please
I'm
say hi
glad
to
to
the
join. I'm
village.
glad. Hi, village. Hello, everybody.
Right. Ronin, tell us, did you plan to become a systems administrator? What happened after matric? Was this your plan?
So, no, it was not. So, in high school, I was one of those people who had no idea what I was going to do after high school. I had no plan. I had I had nothing. I was just gonna finish school. My main objective was finishing school and,
Mhm.
finding something to do. And
Okay.
after high school, I matriculated and still no plan. I think I was at home for about 3 months and I joined a learnership. It was a year's learnership, and the learnership had to do with IT. So I thought to myself,
Mhm.
let me give it a shot. I mean, I have nothing to do now. Let me give it a shot. And I went to the learnership. I studied for my MCSD, which is the Microsoft Certified Solutions Developer. I studied for six
Okay.
months. I got the qualification, and then I worked for the remaining 6 months. But I worked at a PR company, which had nothing to do with what I studied for. So, more
Oh,
experience. And and after
wait,
that, I oh
wait, wait. What were you doing at the PR company? What was going on? Okay, it was a PR company, but what were you doing?
so when I was doing my practical, when we were doing the studying portion of the learnership, we like a couple of companies came over, and it was supposed to be a majority, IT companies, because we were doing
Mm.
an IT qualification. So one of the last companies that came was a PR company, and my friend and I were like, you know what, it's not IT, let's give it a shot. So we went there, and it was supposed to be learning about what we were studying, but we did online content development. We interviewed local artists. We ran initiatives. We were promoting local businesses. There were a couple of people that are kind of big now and that were big back then that we interviewed. And so basically what I was doing was I was writing articles for the PR company. I was writing articles about projects, about local businesses, about a lot of things. And my friend, she was doing the graphic designing portion of it. So she would have done posters and, just designing little quotes, for promoting people. So it was a little bit outside of my comfort zone because I had to do writing, which I am
Mhm.
kind of good at. But I think, yeah, it was more or less on online content development. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, you know what I'm thinking about as we are explaining this? I'm just thinking, uh, you were really someone who didn't really like know what they wanted to do, but you were there, like you were grabbing all the opportunities that came. So you saw
True.
the
Very true.
opportunity and you thought, you know what? Experience is experience. I'm doing this. And then what happens after that?
So we had a chance, we had an opportunity to stay at the PR company, but I don't think either of us wanted to because I mean, it was relatively a small company and I wanted to grow. So
Mhm.
I cut ties. I'm like, you know what, I'm ready for my next opportunity. Let me start hunting again. And I left that place and I think I was unemployed for about 2 months. Worst 2 months of my life. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't like being, you know, unemployed. I don't like
Idling.
being sitting at home doing nothing. Yeah, I don't like idling at
Mhm.
all. And I eventually joined a youth employment accelerator. So I was there for about 2 months. They provided training like what the corporate business is like, how to deal with certain things, how to type emails. It was very basic level stuff, but very important stuff for joining a corporate world. And
Mhm.
it was very eye-opening for me. It was about mental well-being. It was about how to deal with certain things personally and separate them from your work life. There was a point where they brought in a life coach that would normally coach CEOs of companies, and I can still remember the day she gave us the best advice as to how to cope with things. And I didn't know at the time, but those 2 months they were actually being trained for the current company I'm working for, but it was for a call center. So
Mhm.
at the time, those during those 2 months, I was grabbing as many opportunities I could. I was overworking. I was doing the most I could, so much that the my facilitator at the time at the Youth Employment Accelerator, she approached me and she's like, do you have any qualifications? Because I mean, you're doing really good here. Maybe I can try to, push you into another department or something. So I told her, yes, I have a Microsoft certification in IT, in development. And then she said, okay, give me time. Let me see what I can arrange. And next thing I know, I'm being pushed into the IT department instead of what I was supposed to be pushed in. So I'm very grateful for her for that.
You see what happens when you grab as much opportunities as you can, because these things
True.
were not really related to what you wanted to
Not
do.
at all.
Okay, it looks like you were a busy young man, which is good because guys, idling. I know at this day and age, it's not like you are idling because it's intentional. It's just circumstances that will make you just like stay at home, right? But for
True.
context, first question, which year was this? Was it 2017 when you did your short course at Microsoft, the Microsoft course?
So I matriculated 2017 and
Mhm.
I started my learnership for my MCSD in 2018. I then graduated with the MCSD in 2019. So I got the certification in 2019, but it lasted
Okay.
from 2018 May up until 2019.
Oh, okay. So it was a learnership, right? So it means you
A
were
learnership,
learning
yes.
while we were working. Okay. This is with a CTU training solution. Does it still exist?
Yes, 100%. Fortunately, at the time, the company that was sponsoring the learnership had an agreement with them, and that's how they came into the picture. But they are a separate private institution that focuses on IT qualifications. Yeah, I think it's a
Mm,
college. Yeah,
it's a college. Okay. So we
yeah,
don't know. Maybe there might be a learnership happening. There might not be one, but you guys can just check it out if you are interested. Okay.
100%.
So Okay, so after you've left the PR company, right? You stayed at home
Mm-hmm.
for 2 weeks, not 2 weeks, for 2 months. And after the
2 months.
2 months, you got into we're gonna call it a work readiness program, which was for how many months?
It lasted 2 months. It was only 2 months, yeah, but it was a lot that I learned in that 2 months. A lot.
Okay. So now I want us to take us through the program briefly. Okay. What was that thing that made your supervisor, I'm just going to call her your supervisor, to ask you if you have any qualifications? What do you think made you stand out?
So, fortunately, there were a lot of different things that they were teaching us. I tell everyone up until today, I tell everyone one thing you should do is try going through this specific youth employment accelerator. I think they called Harambe Youth Employment Accelerator, and I tell a lot of people, they honestly changed my life because the things they teach you leadership skills, they teach you like how to write a proper email, like things that you would think people would know, but they don't until someone shows you. They teach you cognitive thinking, they teach you statistical thinking, it's just a lot of things, but what
Mm,
made me stand out is all of these specific things, right?
mm,
You had a certain percentage to get to. Like there was the cognitive thinking, the statistical thinking, the email writing, the leadership skills. There was even a typing class. And luckily my fingers are fast. So so there was that. And I think the 2 months prior to me joining them, I was so stagnant and idle that I got scared that I was going to be stuck in one position a lot, like for the longest time. And when I joined them, I told myself, you know what? I think I need to push. I think I need to do as much as I can because I have goals, I have dreams. I need to get where I want to get. So the things that they were teaching, all those things I mentioned, I told myself
mm,
I need to push, and I did. I broke myself down. I made sure that as soon as I got home, I practiced a lot of the different things. I spoke to different people in my class, and we started exchanging ideas. And I was trying to learn because my objective was to grow. I needed
mm,
to get to where I wanted to get. And I think
mm.
I didn't realize at the time, but I was pushing so much that I got noticed by her. And then that's when she approached me. I think it was my drive to not be idle. That's what pushed me.
Wow, guys, it's Harambe, a youth accelerator
Yeah,
program. We're gonna leave the link, guys, in the description box. If maybe you are hearing about
100%.
it for the first time today. Wow, this is interesting. Like it's an interesting way to get a job. So that's how you got your first opportunity then, like into IT.
Correct, correct. So after that, my facilitator approached me and she asked me what qualification I have. I told it was an MCSD in IT, and then she said, "Give me time, let me arrange something." Next thing I know, I'm going into the IT department, but it wasn't specifically for the certification I had, because the certification I have is for development. But she managed
Mhm,
to get me a position in support, in third line support,
mhm,
and on induction day, they were taking us through the whole company, and it was a beautiful company. And we got to the IT department, which would have later been my team. And we got there, and I looked at everyone in the team, and I saw how they were working together and how they were talking to each other. And I'm like, but then this doesn't seem like a corporate world that I've been trained for. This feels like a picnic. It looks like a family, It looks like people who work perfectly together. And I
right.
remember on induction day, I told myself, that's what I want to do. That's where I want to be. That's the team I want to be in. I want to work like that. And then
Mm.
the rest is just history.
Guys, please don't forget to like and share this video. You know me, when I'm chatting to our guest, I always forget to that this is a YouTube video. I always forget that this is a YouTube video. So I have to like remind you guys to like and share the video and leave any questions that you might have for him. I know it's still early, but you might have some questions and any like words of encouragement for this young man. So, Ronin, I see that, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correct, but anyway, Ronin. Ronin,
You're
yeah.
good.
So, I see that your course is Microsoft Certification in Solutions Development. Is it meant to be for software development?
Yes. So the way I see it is that the specific opportunity I got was more or less a beginner's level into software development. So the way development works and IT as a whole is that you start somewhere and then you build your way or you move to a different direction. But the specific one I got, yes, definitely it was meant specifically for software development.
Okay, so when you got at your first job now, IT support, what were you doing there? Did you need additional certifications or you were just being trained in-house?
So it's a bit of a tricky one because initially it was in-house training, depending on the specific systems and everything that we use in my current job. And my objective throughout my entire job was I had to get certifications, but throughout my whole career so far in IT, I've only gotten one certification where I currently am, which is the Microsoft Azure Fundamentals, which is very, very, very baseline. It's the fundamentals into branching into the cloud, but that's the
Mhm.
only one so far. But I am working on getting more going forward, a lot more.
Mm. Okay. And right now, your current role is a systems administrator. So how did you
Yes.
move? Like, how did you get to that? You did IT support, and then after that, was this is this your second um position, or you've held other positions before this one?
So when I joined the company, it was
Mhm.
for the same job I am currently in. But the thing is, with IT support, there's a number of things. There's thousands of things you could learn. There's thousands of things you could solution. There's a lot of things. So when I started, I was very junior level. I got training and I was left alone after that. I think that's how you grow. Like if my seniors just left me alone. They were like, do you? If something breaks, fix it. Which I'm
Mhm.
grateful for because that's what made me grow into what I am today. So when I started with training and then it went on to our ticketing system, which requests coming in from business, and I think that was really good because that's how I learned our entire environment. That's how I learned, okay, so A connects to B, which is in relation to C. And it just started building from up there. It
Mhm.
just started building. But with the position question, I have jumped a lot from being
Mhm.
a junior, not knowing anything, to being intermediate, which I currently am. And I think the moment I became intermediate in supporting, I realized I'm seeing the same thing. I think I want to branch into something else now. In the same job role, but something else. So
Okay.
currently I am more of a hybrid engineer. I do on-prem support and cloud support. So it's like
Oh.
more or less both. So it's still the same position, just different aspects within the position.
Mm. Okay. But you guys, IT people, you know what he's talking about. And I think on your CV, you've listed cloud computing, and then there's generalist and user
Yes.
management under your skills, right? So are these
Yes.
related? User management and cloud computing, are these related?
So I don't think it would be something as related. I think it's more of like separate entities, but my specific role enables me to do both. So when it comes to user management, it's, helping users with access to folders, access to mailboxes, resources. It's more access related and with troubleshooting. Like if a user has an issue, they would call to say, this is the issue, please help me. That's more or less the user management. Then when you get the cloud computing, it's very vast. It can span from user management to resource creation and maintenance on the cloud. It's very vast. Think of it as user management being on-prem, or well,
Okay.
everything being on-prem. And on-prem meaning you manage hardware, you manage in-house systems, you manage a lot of things that are specific to the company. And cloud computing being a completely separate entity.
Okay. We've been chatting, saying systems administrator this, systems and administrator that. But what is a systems administrator? In simple terms, let's say I'm watching this, I'm interested in IT, but I don't like coding. Did you like coding? Like when you were doing your course, was
The,
it something that interested you?
That's a very good question. When I was doing the course, blunt answer, no. I feel like for coding, specifically for development, you need to have the bone. You need to have you need to have that specific bone for coding. And sadly, I didn't. I mean, I did make the most out of the opportunity, and I did get the certification, but it was not for me. That's why I was glad when I got my job, my system administrator job, because it was more in support.
Okay.
But
What do
to
you do? What is the systems support? Sorry, systems administrator? Mhm.
so basically what a system administrator is, same as a doctor. Instead of having patients, we have systems that we look after. So think of a server or a normal computer. If the server goes
Mm.
down and it impacts business, they would then call me or my team to ask, hey, please can you investigate what's going on? I would then go to the back end to go find out, why did the server go down? I would then try to bring it back up. I would fix it, bring it back up, and tell business, hey guys, the server is back up. So I think the best way to put it is being a doctor, but for systems, specific systems. Yeah,
Mm. Okay, so you deal with different diagnosis, like a doctor,
correct.
basically.
Yeah, yes,
Okay,
100%
so
that. Supporting, maintaining. Yeah.
so if I go to Home Affairs and the system is down, so it means the systems administrators there are not doing their job.
Yeah. More or less. I mean,
Overwhelms. What overwhelms a system like that? I know you don't work at Home Affairs, but from a like what from your perspective, what do you think like overwhelms the systems like that?
Bonnie, in my experience, I have very limited experience, but in my experience, there could be the smallest thing, a
Mm,
little drop in network, a little a wrong access configuration on a specific system. A tiny thing could lead to everything going down. So in a situation like
mm.
that, it might have been, it, I don't know, it could be a lot of things. It could be a lot, but I can tell you now that a system administrator was trying to fix it. That I can tell you.
Okay. Guys, please like and share this video and leave any questions you might have for Ronin, okay? He will come back to this video and engage with you. This is a standard question I ask all my guests. Which school did you go to and how was your math? Did you do math, core math or math lit? Which one did you go for?
So I went to Northview High School. It's somewhere in the north, I'm not too sure. I did do pure maths, physics, cat, and life sciences.
Wow.
And the question about how good my math is, that's a bit tricky because I believe up until today I am good at math, but
Mhm.
the writing of the exams was not the one. I mean, I did get a good mark. I think I got a level 5 in math, but
Wow.
you know,
Good. Actually, that's good. Don't underestimate yourself.
it is. Thank you.
That's that's good. But I'm just surprised you did all these hard subjects, but still you were just not sure what you wanted to do. Was there lack of career guidance at school, or was it just an attitude thing from your side?
So it two portions. Firstly, my school did have a lot of exposure to different careers. But it was my attitude. It was that I was so scared of choosing a specific career and like going into it, and then later in life I'd realize this wasn't for me. So I think
Mm.
that's what held me back a lot because I didn't want to go into something that I was going to be unhappy with. So
Okay.
that held me back completely, which would have been a train smash if it wasn't for my opportunities. But luckily it worked out. And the second part being my mother used to be a policewoman, so she was very adamant on pushing me to do my best, do this, everything. And that's what led me to doing, the hard subjects, the physics, the life science, the math. And her idea was as long as you have these subjects in your bag, you could do whatever you want, no matter what you chose. And I think that also contributed to me not knowing what I wanted to do because I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. But as long as I did, or I had the subject in my bag, I would have been able to spend anywhere. So yeah, I,
Mm.
I think that's it.
But also, hi, mom. Thank you. Thank you for like keeping him on the right path, mom. You did well. But you know what? Since you had good, like your matric results were good, right? I think that's also has helped you to be able to get into these like opportunities, So, guys, sometimes even if you are not going to do something right away, with your matric certificate, but sometimes when people are looking at giving certain people opportunities, they do consider your matric results actually.
True.
That's a fact. So the metric
True.
results have played in your favor. Ronin, thank you so much for coming and having this chat with us, having tea, like dropping some wisdom, right? I know we're going to find value. But let us know, please. Maybe I'm watching this. I'm a young man or woman. I would like to get into this space. What would you say to me? What are the key things? Because I know there are a lot of people that are confused. Some of them, they've done their matric already, but they are still
Mm.
confused. Like they don't know. But maybe now, just watching you, they got inspired. What are the key things that we think are important?
I think on top of, qualifications, experience, mindset, I think the most important thing in IT, in anything that you do, is always have the ability to want to learn. No matter what you're doing, just as long as you have the ability to want to learn, to ask questions. Because I mean, asking questions and wanting to learn more things shows that you're determined. You want to understand something to give better support or better, to give more of yourself. So my
Yes.
number one thing I tell every single one is always ask questions and always have the ability to learn. That's the one most important piece of advice I can give it with my limited
Mhm.
experience.
With your limited experience. So you need to be someone who loves watching videos, tutorials, because your industry is constantly changing, like all the time.
Correct. All the time.
So you can't say,
100%.
I
Always.
have, so you can't say, I have these certificates now, I'm good. So you must always be prepared that every year, maybe year or two, you need to do something.
100%, 100%. My thinking is, as long as you have the ability to learn and you know always have the curiosity to want to know new things, then you'd be sorted no matter where you go, especially in IT. Because I mean, as you say, things are changing almost to the second. Things are changing right now in IT. There's new things being developed. There's better ways of thinking, and I feel like if you don't have the curiosity and the ability to learn, you're going to be stagnant. You're going to be stuck in one place which honestly would scare anyone. So yeah, definitely always be a continuous learner, always just be a learner, no matter how old you are, no matter what qualifications you have, be a learner in everything you do.
That's the spirit, guys. Okay. Thank you so much. Please say bye to the village, guys. Don't forget to like and share this video and leave any questions and some words of encouragement for okay. Laba seba ama guru. I know there are people who are more like gurus in cloud computing. I hope TK is watching this
100%.
video. Our friend TK, who's a cloud engineer. TK, I need to connect you with this young man. Guys,
Please,
some words
hey
of
TK,
encouragement.
please.
Some words of encouragement and any questions, guys, okay? And also remember, all the platforms that we mentioned on this like video are going to be in the description box. You can check it out. Thank you, Ronin. Bye-bye.
Thanks everyone. Bye.
Bye.